NYO-U viewers, I'm Elizabeth Jerstad, and I'm a violinist from NYO-2, and I'm super excited to be here today to be able to host a mini masterclass on a topic I'm very passionate about, which is volunteering with music. As a kid, I really remember looking up to the members of our top youth orchestras, and they were the ones who inspired a yearning in me to become just as good as they were someday. This goes to show how crucial mentorship is for the cycle of musical education in a community. That leads me to my first volunteering suggestion. As I mentioned, high school mentors were a big part of my life as a young musician, so naturally, volunteering at an elementary school is something very fulfilling to me. The impact you can have on these children is immeasurable and so important for the cycle, as I said before, of musical education in your community. Tip number 1, mentoring beginners. I find that elementary students are more receptive to learning if they're aided by a high school peer rather than solely by adults. When helping younger students, be sure to keep in mind what you struggled with when you were first beginning to learn your instrument. Younger kids may have trouble concentrating or may become frustrated if they cannot quickly pick up on a technique. In situations like these, remember that your outlook gives you a unique ability to connect with the student. As a learner yourself and someone much closer to them in age, recall a time when you had a musical obstacle that you had to overcome. Hearing about your personal struggles and how you overcame those struggles will help the child relate to you and be able to understand that learning is a process. As a more specific way to engage with these children, think about turning exercises into games. So, for example, when working with rhythms, instead of using the typical Mississippi hot dog, the student can come up with their own creative phrase to help them solidify the rhythm. This sort of learning helps cement fundamentals and help keep the students more engaged. As a junior in high school with a full extracurricular plate, I totally understand that it may seem very difficult at first to carve out time in your schedule for volunteering. As a tip for busy students, I highly suggest trying to incorporate your volunteering hours into the school day if at all possible. So, for example, a time slot that works for me is my lunch study period. However, if you're booked solid during the school year, I would definitely recommend reaching out to a local music camp to see if they need any assistance with the younger grades. Tip number 2, playing at local events for the general public. Another way to get involved with your community through music is by offering a free service, either at your school, for a local business owner, or even for couples planning their wedding. Some ideas I've used in the past are volunteering to play music in your school's common area before winter break. 2, volunteering to play background music for local business seasonal parties or fundraisers. And 3, playing a couple's desired rep at weddings. A couple of strategies for getting the word out about your services are, number 1, getting in touch with organizers or business owners. A great way to do this, I find, is to create a social media account for organizers and business leaders to directly reach out to you and learn more about your services from you. Number 2, for events such as weddings or small parties, I would recommend putting out flyers or even creating some business cards for yourself. Give some to your mom to hand out around work, or hang some posters up at your school or even your local performing arts center. But be sure to ask permission before doing so. Also, something to keep in mind with this sort of volunteering when you are playing for an audience is that it's always great to be in a group, include other musicians, and help you all give back to the community together. Tip 3, music therapy for the elderly. My third and final volunteering idea is something very near and dear to my heart. Whether you decide to play at a hospital, a retirement home, or a hospice, playing music for the elderly is a great way to give back to community members. This free service can help ease their stress and also provide free entertainment for them. A moment that really enlightened me on the true necessity of music therapy was a day like any other when I was playing in the hallway in our local hospice. Due to my young age, I was not able to directly meet any of the patients at the hospice, so it came to a shock and also a great honor to me when the head of volunteering at our local hospice emailed me and told me that a patient had requested I play at her funeral. This is a truly impactful memory for me, and whenever I think of it, it inspires me to continue sharing my art and also continue advocating for musical outreach in our community. Now for a quick recap of my 3 volunteering tips. Tip 1, mentoring beginners. Tip 2, playing at local events for the general